I want to show you how I was able to catch this trade on AUDUSD. It was such a beautiful trade. Let's quickly get into the chart so that you see how I was able to break it down. So what we have from the look of things on the daily time frame on AUDUSD, this is what we have if we zoom the chart in properly like this. So the first thing I always like to do is to mark out the key levels, the key tops and bottoms that I see on the chart. So when doing this helps me to have a view of what the market is currently doing, where it is, and what it is doing at the moment, right? So at the time I saw that opportunity, this is the process that I went through, right? I saw that price tapped into this level of demand and swept liquidity and started pushing back to the upside. So after doing that, I then narrowed down to the 4-hour chart. So this is what we have on the 4-hour chart. If you look at what has been happening on this chart, you'd see that price has just been, even though the movement has not really been so, should I say, so impulsive, because it looks like it's been chopping around to the upside. We're not really seeing all this kind of sharp moves. So it's if you look at it, however, you'd see that it's actually been moving in an uptrend, right? It's been moving inside of this channel gradually to the upside, very gently, very, you may not even notice it that it's moving, but it's actually moving. So I saw that it was pushing to the upside. And what I did was to just focus on this price action area here at the time. So what I did was to focus on this price action area here. This is the I saw that there was this support around here. If you trade basic retail patterns, you see that this is, support, and then price took out liquidity. If you don't know what liquidity is, I'll probably make a video on liquidity to explain how you can use that to take trades on your account. So look at this is liquidity sweep, because price tapped into this area, I pushed up initially, it tapped into this demand zone again and pushed up. Now it tapped into this area again. So normally people who trade, they'll tell you, okay, buy at support. So this was a support area here, and then people who took out who bought around here would have been hoping that price would go up. But what did price do? It dropped down, taking out the stops that were sitting inside of this zone before then pushing to the upside. So when I saw yesterday that the liquidity had been taken and price had made a push back into this area, it also made this retest. So we saw this is what market does. We see a push, a retest, and I was expecting this continuation, this further impulse move to the upside. And I also saw that if you look closely, let me zoom in. So after it took out liquidity, what it did was to create an inverse head and shoulder pattern. This is an inverse head and shoulder pattern here, like this. So market goes down. We see a push like this. We see another push. We see it drop down again, and then a push to the upside. So this is an inverse head and shoulder pattern. It's a bullish reversal pattern. So when I see it, I add it as a confluence, especially if I'm looking out for a buy. So that's exactly what printed here. If you look at it very closely, inverse head and shoulder. So I saw that. So these are confluences that I added up to help me make that decision of taking that buys. You're adding up confluences, just reading what the market is doing, and then using what the candlesticks are doing to interpret the data that the market is trying to give to you, okay? So I used the inverse head and shoulder pattern, and I also saw that this was a demand area that liquidity had taken. So first of all, the trend from the initial start when I started showed that this has been moving to the upside, right? Then we have an inverse head and shoulder pattern. We have liquidity taken at the bottom. Then price was also at a support region. We had this push, like an impulse move, then a retest. So I was expecting that continuation to the upside, and that's exactly what price did. And this was actually where I was targeting, and it's so good to see that price has tapped into the target area. So this is it. Now, this is one final thing that I also saw at the time. So if you trade basic retail concepts, this is, I mean, it's a good trade. It's just using basic candlestick patterns, support, resistance, trend lines, just ensuring that you're able to use them accurately, because even if you're using basic retail concepts, you don't just use them in isolation. You have to really know how they work. So look at this. We also have this bullish engulfing candle. So if you know what a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern is, especially when you find it in an area of support on a higher time frame like this, I mean, it's a good confirmation to also want to take that trade. So I saw that candlestick pattern formation at that time, and then that gave me, more reasons to want to buy the trade, that to want to buy the asset rather. So now that it has hit the targets that I set for it, what is the next move? What is likely to happen? What am I anticipating? What's the next projection that I have? Let us see what we can come up with. Remember, the overall trend right now, the major trend I see is, bullish. This is what price is likely to do, continue pushing until we get into this level right here. But before that happens, let's look at the current structure. Before we say we want to take another buy, this is what we would have to wait for price to do. See, if I'm going to be taking further buys, what I want to see is for price to make a clear break and close above this area of resistance. So we're currently in an area of resistance, and it is possible for us to see that price would drop back into this level. Yeah, it is possible. But if I want to take a buy on it, I would wait for it to clearly break out with a full body candle close, break out of this area of resistance where we have sellers, and then make a retest. Then after making this retest, I'll be looking for opportunities, other confluences. Like I said, you don't just jump because the market has made a retest. You pay attention, open your eyes to see what other things that you have to add to the confluences to take that trade for either a buy or a sell. So for me, if I want to take a buy, I'm just going to wait for that breakout to happen clearly, look out for a retest, and then get a confirmation to enter the trade for a push to the upside. Yeah, so that's my current bias on AUDUSD, and we'll just wait for the market to play out, right? Let's see, what does the market want to do? Follow the market where it is going to. So if the market wants to go down, we'll look for a trading opportunity to follow it to the downside, right? So you don't insist that market must go in your direction because you have planned a particular setup on it. The market can decide to just change it for you. Do you get so you just, be humble, follow what the price chart is doing, and yeah, you'd be able to interpret the data and use it to your advantage. Okay, yeah, so that's what I got on AUDUSD. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, remember to click the subscribe button, like this video, and also share with your trading friends. Okay, I will see you in my next video. Bye.